Hi, so today I want to talk about Simone Murray and the digital literary sphere in relation to Milkman by Anna Burns. Now, I read Milkman and I also listened to Milkman, and I want to talk about the sort of understanding of the narrative through just reading it and through listening to it, and how digital communication technologies affect our understanding of the novel. In her book, Simone Murray poses the question as to what is the relationship between digital communication technologies and contemporary literary culture. So she suggests that this relationship occurs through a form of book talk whereby digital technologies can impact contemporary literary culture. So, for example, this can happen through author readings or author websites or book review websites, and basically those can be used as a form of digital media which can impact reading practices. So firstly, we must address what the literary sphere includes and how to chart it. In print culture studies, Simone Murray suggests that the emergence of the author as a foundational concept in the growth of intellectual property is founded. So what this means is that the author causes an interaction between themselves and the reader in how they should interpret their novel. So, for example, this can happen through meet the author events, or the author might put a reading out there on how they have read their novel and want their novel to be read, so the reader can understand what the author means. Next is media studies, and in media studies we move away from the physical copy of the book towards a form of ebook, and also literary discussion online occurs instead of through face-to-face interaction, and this can occur through book cataloguing websites or traffic book blogs, and basically the digital sphere allows for a wider communication amongst readership. Finally, there is the electronic literary studies, which emerged in the 1980s, and this is where incorporation of audio and graphic content takes place, and also it's allowed for multilinear narrative pathways and the distribution of authorship. So this is where the digital literary sphere really takes off. Listening to Milkman has helped me to visualise the community which is where the novel is set, and that's a community that thrives off gossip and truly perpetrates women for situations that are out of their control. So I focused on this scene where third brother-in-law is questioning our narrator as to why she's reading whilst walking and the problems that might occur through reading whilst walking, and I've emulated this scene through a visualization of how I think that the watching eyes might be looking at someone who's reading whilst walking, and how they might not notice it, and I've tried to recreate the emphasis that Brennan has put on certain words to impact the scene. This was on the subject of my reading while walking. Books and walking, me and walking and reading. That thing again. Are you talking to me? I said. What can you mean? You've never spoken to me in your life. It's that, I think, said third brother-in-law, that you should not do that. That it is not safe, not natural, and not dutiful to self. That by doing so, you're switching yourself off. You're abandoning yourself. That you might as well betake yourself for a stroll amongst the lions and the tigers. That you're putting yourself at the mercy of hard and cunning and unruly dark forces. That you might as well be walking with your hands in your pockets. So, to conclude, I would say that it is the digital literary sphere's mass democratic accessibility that has allowed for wider readership, because through the ebook, through the audiobook, through just a physical copy of a book, allows for a wider audience. And definitely, personally, for someone with dyslexia, I would say that the audiobook has allowed me to visualise the narrative in a way that I wasn't able to before, because Brennan put emphasis on certain words, and therefore those words became and had a deeper meaning that I had previously skimmed over. So through the digital world, more people can access the book, which means there's a wider author and reader relationship, which creates a wider community.